us this morning, and then we will get started with presentations.
Hi, good morning. I'll talk more later, so I'll talk now. I'll just pray. Father God, thank you for a new year, brought new opportunities, new possibilities. Thank you for all the students that you brought back and all the new students that you brought in to Grace Christian School this year. Thank you for our staff this year. Thank you that you have just so providentially and divinely blessed each and every person in this room to be in this room. We believe it's a blessing that we're all here. We believe that you have placed each of us here for a purpose and a reason, and we're grateful for it, Lord. As we prepare for this school year, we pray that you would just pour out your blessing on each of us, Lord. That you would be able to join alongside of us as we seek to grow not only in our relationship with you, Lord, but also in education and responsibility, growing maturity. We're so grateful that we get to be a part of this school year, this team, this body of students, Lord. We pray that throughout this year that our chief goal would be to see your glory and in turn our joy, Lord. And so as we seek your glory, we pray that you would make it known to us, that you would fill us with knowledge and wisdom and opportunity, that you would fill us with joy. Lord, we just pray that your will will be done this year for each of our staff's life, each of our students' lives, and that it would be a year marked by your purposes being fulfilled on this campus and in this junior high. Pray this all in Jesus' name, we bless this year. Amen.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fortune. Okay, Jim, we'll go to the next slide. If you're just coming in, come on in, please find a seat. If you're a student, feel free to come sit up on the floor. Parents, go ahead and find a seat. Okay, and then we can forward one more slide, Jim. So I am Mrs. Painter. For those of you that don't know me, I used to be Mrs. Gasser. As many of you, I had you in kindergarten as a teacher. So I have been with this school as a credentialed teacher for over 10 years, but I did go to elementary school here. So I have been here for quite a long time, and my roots and heart are very, very deep at Grace Christian School. So I currently am stepping into the role as vice principal as our beloved Mr. J has retired. So I'm very excited for this challenge, and I pray for wisdom every day, and I welcome any prayers of wisdom as I'm stepping into role of vice principal. But with that being said, you are not losing me as junior high director. I'm still going to be overseeing and running all of junior high. I will still be very much involved in everything that junior high is doing. And then I do oversee our National Junior Honor Society, and so that is a student leadership program that we have here on campus, and I'll get into that a little bit. So Jacob, you can also see up here some of the roles that I've played on campus in the last 10 years, so just a few. Jacob will go to the next slide. Surprise, I'm pregnant. So, so pats on the back. We found out last Easter, and I'm due Christmas Day, which is how I know it was part of God's plan, because I would have planned it differently. But we are very excited. It is an answer to prayer. But I did want to address, so I will be going out on a maternity leave for a little bit this school year. However, we are not leaving you high and dry. We have another administrator, Mrs. Portnev, is going to be stepping in during that time period while I am away. So she's going to be working very closely with me from now until December, so that I can get her up and running and trained for everything while I'm absent. And then luckily our junior high staff, many of them have been here up in junior high for almost as long as I have, so they very much know the routines and expectations and all the things. So I feel very confident that even though I'm going to be stepping away for a brief moment in time, you guys will be in great hands, okay? Moving on, thanks, Judah. All right, so our goals and missions of Grace Christian School is that your students will graduate here academically prepared, spiritually equipped, and responsible citizens. So we want to make sure that we are pursuing rigorous content, that we have mastery, learning, and retention going on. So that's our academic piece. And then spiritually, we embed Christ in everything that we do. So it's not just Bible class, it's not just weekly chapels, but we are praying daily, we are praying with your students, we are praying over our staff, and then we teach everything from a biblical world perspective, right? So what does the Bible say about when Earth was created, right? Rather than what does secular views say. So that way when your kids leave here, they're able to defend their faith and have those deep roots in their Christian values. And then responsible citizens. So we want to prepare your students for high school, college, and beyond. And so part of that is holding them accountable and setting high expectations that we know that they will rise to, while also allowing them the grace to be children and come alongside and learn with them, right? Jacob, go ahead and move to the next slide. Hi, come on in. If you're a student, you can sit up on the floor. Parents, there should be some hopefully extra chairs. I know we got a few up in here that you're more than welcome to sit at. Okay, so my role as director. So you all should have received via email a copy of our code of conduct, our policies, our dress code. We also have a junior high handbook that's going to go over everything you need to know about junior high. And so both the handbook, code of conduct, expectations, dress code, all of that stuff is posted on our school website. Today, your students, when they get their schedule, is going to get a manila envelope as a packet. And inside that packet is going to be an agreement form. And there are QR codes on there that will take you to the website where you'll be able to find the handbook and these policies that I'm talking about if you didn't see it via email over the summer. And we're going to ask you to just read through those so that you know and we are all on the same page about what those expectations and policies are. And then we also are going to spend 6 days with the kids reviewing in detail, not only in the classroom, but in like a chapel setting, what all of those expectations are. So we play some fun games and then we get serious and talk about the nitty-gritty for a while. And then moving on here, so if we can get that signature page back that is in your packet, please, by the first Friday at school, which is September 5th, because we're off that other Friday, that would be fantastic. Okay, so helping our students be successful. So we work hard and then we play hard, right? So part of that is making sure that our academics are where we need them to be. So if your child has a D or an F in a class, we are going to kindly ask them to attend lunch lab. It's not a punishment, it's just so we need you to check in with your teacher and get caught up on any missing assignments, make up a test, whatever that might look like. So you may at some point see a slip come home that is labeled lunch lab and it will have checked off the class areas that your child is not doing. So we're hot in at this current moment in time, and then we are expecting them at lunch to show up to that teacher's classroom so that the teachers can work alongside them to make sure that those D's and F's get up to passing grades. Your child cannot promote to the next grade level with F's on their report card. So we need to get them all to passing grades. That is part of being academically prepared by the time they graduate. So that is there just kind of as a safeguard and also to keep you in the loop of what their grades currently are. You also, parents and students, always have access to their grades via our student information system, which is Red Web Facts. So you parents can create your own login accounts that show financials and things, and then students have their separate login accounts that block some of that more personal information that you might not want seen, but they can have access to their grades. So we will train them well to check their grades so it is not a surprise at the end of the quarter that, oh my goodness, I didn't know my kid was doing this terribly in school. But usually they're not, so it's going to be great. Okay, behavior is another realm that I kind of oversee. So I like to say that I'm fair yet just, right? My goal is to maintain a safe, positive, structured learning environment. Oh, I clearly did not update the slide. Mr. Jay's not here anymore, sorry. But the administrative team, myself, and Dr. Pettinger like to ensure that behavior policies are being followed so that we have a structured and safe learning environment. And so typical typical disciplinary action follows a verbal warning where their teacher in class might try to just correct the behavior. They might have them sign the behavior binder, which is just a signature in a book. That signature goes nowhere other than just your child is acknowledging and the teacher is acknowledging that they have been given a verbal warning. We found a few years ago that having over 30, 50 students, it's really hard to remember who I've given a warning to and who I haven't. So to create a little bit of equality and fairness in that regard, we will just have them sign the book, and so therefore we've acknowledged, and if I can't remember if I've given you a warning, I can go back and there's a little bit of a record of what's been going on. If we have some issues that are persisting, they might be issued a demerit, so that essentially just gets recorded in RenWeb. And then it gets emailed to you. We are now, as teachers, asking for your help to correct a behavior because the mediation that we have already tried with the verbal warning isn't quite working. And then we might move into a detention, which is served after school. That's 45 minutes. And then we have the students write a 250-word essay as to why they need to fix their behavior. And then back with the second offense, we may or may not also ask your student to attend an R&R, which is a rethink and reflect. It's essentially a lunch timeout where they come and eat lunch with me, and we have a conversation about their behavior, and then I typically have them write a 100-word essay because we are not being respectful or we are not being safe on campus, which are important things to grow our character. And then any serious offenses will just be administrative referral, and we'll talk that out. You will always be brought into the loop if we are on that level of behavior. But we're all going to have an amazing year and be such great citizens this year, right, everybody? Right? Okay, fantastic. And on another note, I don't like to just be negative all the time. We do like to celebrate students. So we will get to that in a minute. Jacob, let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, so we are a team. Students, parents, teachers. We want to work together because your students are the priority, right? And so let's come together and find agreements or compromises or how we can best help support you as a family at home and how we can best help your students succeed academically, spiritually, emotionally, physically, whatever the case may be. So lines of communication, the door is always open. You do not need permission to contact one of your students' teachers. You don't need permission to come contact me. Please, if you feel the need to reach out, just go ahead and email one of us. If it's something urgent, you can always call the office and we'll get back to you when we have time in our day to get back to you. But we are here to help you and to work together. But I will kindly ask that if you are having any sort of conflict issues, questions, please talk to your student's teacher first. Let them have the opportunity to maybe explain what has happened or to clarify understanding. And then I'm always here as well to help if need be as well after that. Okay, perfect. And then my email is up here. It will also be on your child's schedule card. It's also posted on the school website. I try my very best to get back to emails within 24 to 48 hours. I try to take the weekends off. So be patient with me over the weekend. I too need a break sometimes. But I try really hard to get back to you guys as quickly as I possibly can. Jacob, next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, here's the fun parts I was talking about. So we do love to have fun in junior high and make lots of memories, and most of it comes in the form of food or some sort of electronic incentive, right? Because that's what our kids love right now. But so they're inside the packet that you are getting today. You're going to see a Q1 flyer of events. So that is all the events that we are having just in Q1 that your student can sign up for. And you'll receive another flyer for Q2 later on in the year, Q3, 4, etc. But you will also see a whole calendar, a list of events for junior high specifically in that packet, both of which are also posted on the school website in case you lose them underneath the junior high section. But we have lunchtime socials once a month, so those can be anything from water balloon events where we're doing water balloon tosses to ice cream socials to root beer floats. I see a lot of eating themes going on. Sometimes we're just hanging out. We also do quarter kickback events. That's to celebrate the end of all of our hard work at the end of every quarter. So we've gone bowling. We go to Knott's at the end of the year. We usually walk over to the park. Sometimes we'll go to John's over here and get lunch or breakfast. Sometimes we'll bring bounce houses on campus or do electronic games. Things of that sort. And for quarter kickback, your student does have to qualify based on their grades because it is a celebration for our hard work. So they have to have A's, B's, or C's on their report cards to qualify for that event. Everything else is just for the fun of it. And then we have Club Rush, where students get to either host their own clubs and what is they're passionate about with a teacher chaperoning the club. Or our teachers host clubs as well. So we have knitting club, we have drama club, we have camping outdoorsy club with Mr. K. We've had paddleboard clubs that meet outside of school off campus. We have our National Junior Honor Society, which is technically a club. We have had Christian Athletes Club. We've had a Bible club before where they kind of do like devotionals. We've had reading clubs. We've had crafting clubs. We've had, you name it, all over. The sky's the limit. So that's kind of a fun thing that we get to do in junior high. And then at the end of the year, we have a really fun junior high dance where we bring in like a DJ and the Kona Ice truck and have a ball in here. So just keep an eye out for any flyers and information. I will also email you within the first week of the month, just letting you know, hey, here's a rundown of things that are going on for the month, so that you have that as well. And then we like to recognize our students whenever we can. So we typically honor kids at weekly chapel so that everybody gets to celebrate them for Student of the Month. We do gold and silver honor rolls based on GPAs. We celebrate birthdays. And then our positive reward incentive as a whole junior high is we give out behavior tickets. And then the students this year are going to be able to collect their tickets and turn them in for whatever coupons they want. So behavior coupons might include getting out of running the mile, or getting to cut the lunch line, or getting extra credit on an assignment, or a homework pass, or getting to drop a low test score. So we have lots of extra fun incentives up in junior high too. Jacob, next slide, please. Okay, so just some quick policies that I do want to bring to your attention. Cell phones. We have what we call a phone home in all of our junior high classes. So if your child has a cell phone and they are going to be bringing it to school, they must check their cell phone into the phone home during first period homeroom. So there are designated numbered slots that all the cell phones fit into, and then it gets locked with a key, and the kids are not to get their cell phone until the end of the day before they head to Carline. We already have so many distractions going on, and so the less distractions we can have with the cell phones, the better. So if you need to get a hold of your child, please call the school office rather than texting or trying to call them. And then smartwatches, we do allow our junior high students to wear their watches because we are trying to practice more responsibility up in junior high. But with that being said, they need to be turned into airplane mode or onto airplane mode and only used as a watch. If we see them walking around talking into it, we are going to kindly take it and make you as parents come pick it up from the school office. Because it's not being used appropriately, and then they may or may not lose their smartwatch privileges. And then Chromebooks. Each student in junior high does have their own assigned Chromebook. It gets assigned to them in 6th grade, and it follows them all the way up through 8th grade until they graduate. So they are responsible for making sure that that same Chromebook is taken care of. So if you want to purchase a separate little sleeve that it goes in, you're more than welcome to. But they do carry it from class to class, and we have a lot of their assignments and things on Google Classroom, which I will go through that here towards the end of our presentations for anyone that wants a tutorial. And then we have invested in a program called Land School, which allows the teachers to have one screen of every student's screen in the classroom so that we are able to see what they are doing on their screens because let's be real, these kids are smart. So we try to stay one step ahead, and they're 2 more steps ahead of that. So that just kind of helps give us, on top of our internet safeguards that we have, just extra eyes and accountability while using the Chromebooks. And then PE and electives, your students on top of their regular academic schedule will have PE and electives. So those are going to start Tuesday, September 2nd. So for the first 2 days of school, your child can come to school in their regular street clothes. They do not need to wear PE clothes. We do not have PE the first 2 days of school. Mr. T will just kind of be doing campus tours with them, going back over rules, and maybe playing a game or 2, but nothing too strenuous, so they'll be okay in their regular street clothes. But your child will need to come to school in their full PE uniform on their designated PE days. So let's see if I can do this without messing this up here. My 6th graders have PE on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So you will come to school, 6th graders, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays in your full PE uniform. My 7th and 8th graders have PE on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. Okay, so full PE uniforms, 7th and 8th grade, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. If you are not having PE, then you have electives that day, and so you can just be in your regular street clothes that follow our dress code policies. If it is cold, your child may wear a sweatshirt over their PE clothes, or they can put leggings or sweats, leggings under or sweats over, right, PE clothes. But we must have our PE shorts on. Okie dokie. Mr. Chief's going to kind of talk about that here in a bit. I think he's in here somewhere. And then if you want extra PE clothes, because laundry gets, difficult sometimes, there are more sets to purchase in the school office. But we are going to ask you to wait until the first week of school to purchase extra sets, just so we make sure everybody gets the correct size, at least one set first, and then we can start purchasing extra sets after that. We usually have more than enough, but just to be safe. Okay, and then Carline. Our school day starts at 8:20, which is 5 minutes before elementary. It kind of helps get us into classrooms and off the playground. It also gives our junior high teachers 5 extra minutes to go over what we need to go over before starting our official school day at 8:25. So 8:20, please make sure that your child is here and in class by 8:20. Teachers usually start letting them into class by like 8:15. And then our school day goes all the way until 3 o'clock. Some of our students have math the last period of the day. So we cannot pack up 5 minutes early, right? Because then you're taking away 5 minutes of instructional time every single day. It adds up quickly, right? So Carline, and this is for elementary as well, does not start until 3:05. So just so you kind of have that. And inside your packet that you are getting today, you should have a placard. It's like red and yellow, white, looks like a little car thing, that we would like you to hang in your windshield, please and thank you, when you come through Carline, so that we make sure that we are getting the correct kids in the correct car. It has your last name on it. If you have a younger sibling, the placard may not be in your packet. It is most likely with your younger sibling's teacher, and you will be getting it through your younger sibling. Next slide, Jacob. Okay. NJHS. So National Junior Honor Society is the nation's premier organization established to recognize outstanding middle school students. So students who want to join NJHS will apply after the first quarter. There will be letters that you are able to apply based solely on your GPA, and then there is an application process, and then we will give you an acceptance letter based on your applications. And we are looking at the whole student, their maturity level, their GPA, their character, right? And then we will have them go through a probationary period to make sure that we really think this is a good fit. And then we usually do an induction ceremony in about January. So if that's something that your child is interested in, we have lots of students around today that are in NJHS shirts. They're going to be kind of helping us get through orientation here. Feel free to ask them any questions, but Our NJHS kids do lots of things. They are required to get a minimum of 40 hours of community service throughout the entire year, and so they help on campus, off campus, and do lots of amazing things to spread kindness on school and in our communities. So with that, does anyone have any questions for me as VP or director? Are we good? Okay. Oh, yes, go ahead.
Ellie, hiccups.
Yes.
Is we're in a situation where if we showed up at 2:45 last year, we weren't able to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
So is there adjustments to that, or is that still in play this year?
That's a great question. Let me find out in the office and I can get back to you. Is that okay? Okay. What was your name? Jacob. Okay, I will find out for you. Perfect. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. Mrs. Miller, unfortunately was not able to be here today, so we're going to go ahead and pull up her video and she's gonna go through her slides.
So I teach English language arts, and hopefully you are looking at a slide that shows some of my background information. Yeah, I have photos on there. So these are pictures of my family. The big family picture is myself, my husband, our 4 children, 2 spouses, and the grandchild, who in that picture is like 4 months old. Her current age, that's her from this last weekend. And then top right corner, she's 19 months old. And then the picture next to her, it's July, and she's being held by my husband, her grandpa, and her newborn baby brother's in the other hand. And there's an up-close picture of him down on the bottom. And then there's a sonogram, and that is for our next grandbaby that comes in November. My personal education was that I went to Iowa University and got a bachelor's in English secondary ed. And my joy is in teaching and reading books and inspiring students to write and to learn and to, experience other worlds through fiction and nonfiction and just get more creative and kind of open their minds to what's available around them. My GCS experience, this is my 7th year teaching English language arts here. Prior to that, I was a substitute here and a parent, and 3 out of 4 of my children actually attended GCS. My son is the only one who didn't actually attend here, and he worked here for several years, along with my youngest, who both attended and worked here. So my family has been affiliated with GCS for a very long time. And my parents teach English language arts, and I think that is a good one. I'm going to move on to the next slide. For academic success, better reading is better achieving. It gives students a better vocabulary, the more fluent they are to readers, the more often they read. They get better test scores, did you guys hear that, students? Better test And typically for middle schoolers, most of y'all just need a lot, any level, just a lot, to make reading more fluent, more easy, and thus more fun. A lot of times my middle schoolers have identified themselves as someone who's just doesn't really enjoy reading, and y'all have 4 to 6 more years of required education after this year and before college. And it's a lot of reading that you're going to do. So you might as well decide that you're going to be good at it and just let yourself be burdened and become a good reader. One of my favorite things about being a reader is that it teaches empathy. And in our world where so many things are tailored around your personal likes and dislikes, your personal needs, your personal wants, our students are frequently very siloed. And so they're only hanging out with people who do things the same way as they do. They're not really experiencing life from other perspectives. And fiction opens the world for that. You see different characters, you see different worlds, you see different ways of thinking and doing things, and that builds a more empathetic heart. Please strive, families, please strive for at least 30 minutes per day of reading. And it's fine if it averages out to 30 minutes a day, but that would be a minimum. And I know some parents are like, there's not 30 minutes in my day, in my child's day for reading. Typically, when I sit down with those same children and say, hey, were you all waiting for your brother for 20 minutes before you left today? Is that a possible reading time? How long did you drive to GCS? Could you be reading during that time? What about when your mom goes to the grocery store and you just waited in the car? That was potential reading time. How about that time that you were in daycare when you gave her out? That's potential reading time. If they look at it that way, it is a very young person that can't fit in an average of 30 minutes per day of reading. They never will need more time in their day for reading than there is in middle school. And I know a lot of people are very scheduled and their lives are very busy and it's difficult to imagine that. But that's actually just true. On the next slide, you can see how we break down the grades from our different classes. So for 7th and 8th grade, the percentages are the same. In our class, we do reading, writing, vocabulary, and that's reading Latin, and then class participation. And tests and quizzes account for 45% of the grade, classwork accounts for 45% of the grade, and participation accounts for 10% of their grade. I said Greek and Latin really quickly, but Greek and Latin is like 45% of the thesis of English, and a lot of our higher learning words, so that I can give them some foundation and understanding of words. It really helps open their vocabulary. On the next slide, we have percentages for 6th grade. So in 6th grade, we have reading, and that includes AR, testing. We have writing, we have spelling instead of vocabulary, and then we have participation. And so that adjusts our percentages. We have tests and quizzes for 40% of grade. We have classwork for 40% of grade. We have participation for 10% of your grade, and we have reading for 10% of the grade. So if you have 100% on every spelling test and every book test, and you've done all of your projects, but you're not a student who wants to take AR or wants to read outside class to have something to take another test on, you're not getting about 90%, and that's with all perfect spelling scores. So, I highly encourage you, students and you parents, to encourage this as well, or they cry, I don't care how you want to do it in your house, to convince your 6th graders to both read outside of class and take their AR tests. And they can take their AR tests before school, after and they can take them during lunch, they can take them after school if they've booked out the time with me. And usually for both of those, and they can take the beginning of their class period at the time that's accounted for an enroll. If you have a student who really struggles to pass their AR tests, then they just need to come and work with me, and I will work up with them on a normal basis until they can pass their AR tests. Next slide. Ways to encourage your student. Number 1, encourage reading. And one of the ways you can do that is let them see you read. Parents, we spend a lot of time like this on the TV or just enjoy yours. If your child never sees you reading, it's not important. So let them see you read. Second thing you can do to help your student is supplies that they could use at home in order to be prepared. Our printer that works with ink and extra ink because it typically runs out right when you need it. And then personal paper. Every student for every you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to email me at nora@gcsrr.org, and I look forward to working with all of you this year.
Okay, Jacob, here we go. Yeah, I know. That was Mrs. Miller from Italy. How cool was that? Okay, I'm the science teacher. For all those who not know that, now you do. I'm the science teacher at Grace Christian School. And you can push the slide down, because I gotta go fast. Once I start talking, it's like 100 miles an hour and I'm things. So this is kind of my life experiences. I joined the Marines in 1975 all the way to 1990. Each one of those little titles is a major story, okay? And I'm not gonna tell you all the stories that are involved there. Next one is a ranger with the Boy Scouts of America, and then San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department Central Rescue and Line Reserve. And then Sport Chalet, I worked at Sport Chalet as a department manager and a store manager for the scuba department. And then I went to National University, and I got a bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies from 2110. Every year I have to have one little thing, and that's my little thing, just like that, man, 100 years from now, that's like cool. Jacob, you didn't look at that, you said you were gonna check those slides. Anyhow, all right, so then I got my degree, and then I went at St. James School. I worked there for a year. And then the diocese decided to cut their budget, so then I was looking for a job, and I saw Dr. Penninger again, and here I've been for 10 years. Totally cool. How about that, Mrs. Wu? All right. Yes, I am a mountaineer. I like to go up in the mountains. This was Mount Whitney Summit, and I think it was 2020. Then White Mountain, 2021, and then Mount Langley in 2022. And then I went to Shasta again, and it actually beat me. There's something about Mount Shasta. I was going to try and summit this June, but it just didn't happen. Time management and all this other kind of things. So that's where I slept and stayed, and then I came back down the mountain. All right? Those were the people that went, okay, back to scuba diving then. This is scuba diving, okay? I teach scuba diving with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department out of, fix that puppy. Oh, I thought it was this one here. Like we safe here? This is the no zone? Okay. So I teach scuba with the LA County Sheriff's Department. We have a thing called the Youth Activity League. And we put kids from Lapuini and Los Angeles County area. We give them a 2-day pool session and then a 1-day experience out at Catalina. All right? They're not certified. We're just teasing them to see if they want to get certified. Awesome program. We put a lot of people through. Last year, I finished certifying Ephraim Beck. He got certified. That year picture that's right there is Kai Nguyen. He got certified. We're moving along now. Next slide. And yes, I like the mountain bike. I've settled down on that one because I'm determining that I'm older, and when I fall, things break a lot faster. So after I did my shoulder, I dislocated the shoulder. Actually, I broke the shoulder. I said, I better slow down, dude. I'm not 18 anymore. But I'm still mountain biking, still being safe up there. Next slide. All right, here we go. This is the junior high. This is my science program, and it's going to be good for all the classes that are right there. Students are going to be studying science. We're going to provide them a text. We're going to give them support through online videos. We're also going to be using labs to support that subject matter. I will be giving them lectures from myself or right from notes that I have or something that keys in from the book, the text. Students are going to be taking notes. You really got to do this, guys, all right? Because if you take notes and you go do the test, all students are like, oh my gosh, I got all this. And if you don't take notes, I'm going to say, oh dear, how sad. You didn't take notes. all right? Communication. I've got to know what's wrong, all right? So please give me a contact on an email. If you've got to do a phone thing, we're there for you guys. We're going to listen, and I like to do it 24 hours to 48 hours response, all right? Okay, let's see. Move next slide here. Classes. Okay, so here's something. These are just some of the subjects for sixth grade. We have mapping compass, and you already kind of figured out I'm a mapping compass nut job. So you're going to be able to navigate. I like weather and climates, plate tectonics, volcanoes, ecosystems, that's earth science. How many of you saw the video from Malaysia about the moving of the plate? Did any of you guys see that on YouTube? That was crazy. Kids are going to come home talking all about that because I'm still excited about it. Dr. Finger is excited about it. You see a landmass move 20 feet. Okay? From a stationary camera, behind it, this landmass moves 20 feet. God in his power. Tell me. Okay? Next system. Then we have 7th grade. We have cells. We're doing viruses, bacteria, cell structure in plants, animals, human body. We start kind of little and we get up to an actual organized animal to human body. Yes, 7th grade is where the class is too. So your parents will get some letters when we do the class. Either myself, either Ms. Painter, okay, and Ms. Painter will do the women when we actually teach the class. I'm going to say the word, the class. Okay, next is 8th grade. Subject matter here, we're getting a little technical, not too much, where we're going to do matter, the states of matter, elements, chemical reactions. Of course, you know I like that one because that's blowing stuff up. And then next one is acids and carbon, motion, things moving, and astronomy. We have a section there on astronomy. It's kind of tough here because half the time it's cloudy, so we don't get to see stuff. All right, let's go to adventure. Oh, here's the grading system. Where is he? Look at the numbers. They all add up this time. I got 30%. The tests are the big ones. They're 30%. Quizzes are 25%. All right. Participation and notes. I'm looking to make sure that you're playing and being here in the class. That's 20%. Projects are worth 25%. That's going to be in a group or an individual. All right. So we'll have a group project score and an individual score. So if you're the person who just goes, oh, it's a group project, fantastic. I can sit here and do something else. No, I'm watching. Okay, you're going to lose the score. You need to stay on track with things. Okay, next one, the adventure. So I have 2 field trips we do to Catalina and Rawhide Ranch. If you're in 6th grade, Rawhide Ranch is right around the corner. Flip the slide there, Jacob. Rawhide Ranch. It's going to be the 23rd and 25th of October. Cost is going to be about $280. I just sent the paperwork in, so those costs may change a little there. I need to have 2 females and 2 male chaperones. They'll be like at $140. I'm also going to need drivers. I'm trying to save you guys money and have y'all drive because we don't have to do the bus expense. Myself and I think, okay, Miss Monty and myself will be going. We're the road trip girls. All right, that's who's going to go on that road trip. Next, here we go, Catalina. That's going to be the 2nd and 4th of April. Roughly again, it's going to be like $355 per child or student. Chaperones, I need 2 males and 2 females for that. We do that a drive because we go to the boat landing, we drop off, and then we come back. Same thing. I need drivers for that. And then myself and Miss Monty, we're like the road kings. We're gonna go out and do it. It's so much fun. We kids have fun out there. That's our 7th grade field trip. And that's enough away that I'm gonna give you time to think about it, you know. And if you guys are really cool, we can go to your grandparents, because your grandparents are spoke up the money. You already know that. We're going to Cali. We're going to ride. Can I clean the house? Oh, sure. Here's $250. Okay. Now, look at that. Look at that. I did it. I didn't go over. Oh, got questions. Here we go. Talk to me. You're gonna hear that, but you're in seventh now. That's it. All right, ma'am? That's physics.
Mr. Kidd.
Oh, there's another one. Yes, ma'am.
The date for Rawhide Ranch show is referring on a Saturday.
Okay, so that should be bumped over. It's gonna be, it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Jacob missed that one too. I have seen the preview of those things, and it's not doing it for me.
Saturday show is referring on a Saturday.
No, they're Friday, Saturday. I mean, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, okay? Really?
Yeah, it said second to fourth.
I'm gonna go check those.
They're correct on your junior high events flyer.
There you go.
Yep, they're right on the flyer.
They're all in the packet that
Yes.
the kids are gonna receive today. Okay. Oh, we got the following you, Mr. Gabriel, like, science, and then they go, no. All right, well, my name is Carrie Matson, and I am honored to be the junior high math teacher this year, and for the past 4 years, this is my 4th year, here at Grace Christian School. You can go to the next slide. I'll talk a little bit about me. So this is my family. My 2 daughters go here as well. My daughter Harper's now in 5th grade, and Hallie is going into 3rd grade. That's my husband. This was last summer. I don't know why I didn't put a new picture up there, but anyways, we were swimming with the dolphins over. We could go out. It was fun. Yeah, so before coming to Grace, I was a math teacher at Fullerton High School for 15 years. Whoop, whoop. So there I taught math, I taught algebra, I taught algebra, I taught geometry, and I also coached the varsity soccer team, and I coached cross country, where Mr. T was one of my students and one of my runners. I don't see him in here, but anyways, that was a long time ago. Can't believe I'm only 25. I was only 5. So I went to Westmont College where I got my BA, my BS. I got one in math and I got another one in Spanish. I can't roll my R, but I can speak it, so that's why I'm kind of a little timid on speaking Spanish. I finished off with my credential. I got it while I was teaching because they needed teachers for math, so I got an emergency credential and I finished my teaching credential through national. This is my 4th year, so I've been teaching for a while. You go to the next slide, Jacob. Okay, so my math goals for all of my students, whether they're coming from whichever area they are, is to have success in math, become more well-rounded and self-sufficient learners, to prepare for high school and beyond, and to become high-level problem solvers and critical thinkers. So the biggest question I get, especially when the kids are in algebra, is, what do you guys think it's going to be like? When are we going to ever use this in life? And the honest question is, on a practical basis every day, probably not a lot. Okay, but if they're becoming these higher level, if they're learning how to think critically and problem solve, no matter which area they decide to go into in life, because I don't know, some of them might become doctors, some of them might become scientists, engineers, we've got a lot of fields that these kids are interested in. I want them to perform at their highest wherever they're going. Okay, so if you get that question at home, you tell them that. You say, they've got to become a high level critical thinker because it's important for whichever area they decide to go into in life. And you go to the next one, Jacob. These are my grading percentages, and this is all outlined in the syllabus as well. And all of our syllabi are located in the package they're going to get. So I won't go into too much detail because we got a lot of teachers and we got a short amount of time. But please take the time to read what's in the syllabus. This is how I grade. 50% is test quizzes, projects, 25% is assignments, 25% is notes. With math, practice makes perfect. Okay, and with math, it's not about memorizing a bunch of details and saying, okay, I know how to do this. It's about practicing it and practicing it. Okay, if you're an athlete, you're not going to go out to play your sport without practicing it before. You're not going to be prepared. If you play an instrument, okay, and you have a recital coming up or a performance, you're not going to perform at your best unless you're practicing it. Okay, so I do give homework almost on a daily basis. I try my best to give them as much time as we can in class, that way they can get a lot of the work done prior to, going home. But a lot of the time, we run out of time and we don't get to finish it, so they do have it almost every night. So when they come home and say, I don't have homework, did you do your math? Did you do your math? Would be like the number one, because that is something that they have every day. One thing I didn't put on the slide, that I wanted to point out here is each student will receive a monthly assignment calendar posted on Google Classroom. They get a copy of it. I try to put it in a bright color so that they can find it. Have them put this at the front of their notebook. If they're ever absent, they know exactly what we're working on. Sometimes, the schedule does change, so I have to kind of go and tweak this a little bit. But you always know what they're working on ahead of time. Okay, so if you know you're gonna be on vacation or something comes up, you've got it ahead of time, okay? So here's some success for how you can help your child be successful. So you can go ahead, next one. Number one is that they're present in school. So if the student misses a lot of school, it's not, we do a lot of stuff in junior high anyway, so if they're not here, they're missing out on a lot. In class, that they do all of the work. Okay, so number one, they take notes, and number two, that they're turning in their assignments every day. Okay, so the students that get behind are the ones that aren't being consistent. They'll just say, oh, I'm not gonna do my homework, and so they'll put it off to the side, but it builds up after a while. That when we're going through the homework, that they make their corrections and they figure out what mistakes they made, and then they fix them. How did I miss it? What did I do wrong? And that they do it immediately. If they don't do it right away, if they let it go, by the time they take the quizzes or the tests, they forgot it. They think that what they're doing is already right. And then they ask questions. If they don't get it, they come and see me for help, okay? And then number 5, I put practice, because it makes perfect. Okay, next slide, please, Bill, I think. This is everything that we learned 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I'm not gonna go over this in detail with you guys. It is outlined in the syllabus. 6th grade math builds on 5th grade. So we have the same publisher. You kind of, when you come into class for 6th grade, we're kind of doing the same things. We do review, but it's the same, not the same book, it's the same pacing that the old book goes in for 5th grade. So we'll be doing a lot of the same stuff, but building on those concepts and going a little bit further. Once you get into 7th grade, you get to pre-algebra, the book gets double the size. So it goes from year to year. And then those are the concepts we're going over. We get a little bit more algebra. There's some geometry that we do in pre-algebra, which makes it kind of fun, and it tweaks it a little bit for them. And then we go right into algebra for 8th grade, so they're a little bit ahead. If your student is not ready for algebra, we're still gonna cover it, but they'll be ahead, okay, of the game when they get to high school. Okay, so if it's something that they're really, really struggling with, and they have to redo it in high school, it's not a bad thing. They're just getting an early exposure. Okay, that's not the goal, but sometimes it does happen. Okay, so if we go to the next slide, questions. Okay, so I'm number 24. If you have any other further questions, you can come and see me. But does anybody have any questions before I pass off the next teacher? Hi there. You got it. So there's a little bit more involving out with the letters and the variables, but everything that we did last year, we're gonna review it all at the beginning of the year. So that you're not just thrown into it like, here you go. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Oh, I got another question. Ashlyn. From the book. Mostly from the books. Occasionally, I do throw a sheet in there. So yeah, so. All right, we have Senora Monte with Spanish. Hola. Your first Spanish word, muy bien. Yeah, okay, so I am the Spanish teacher here at Grace Christian Junior High. Todo sobre mí, a little bit about me. The Lord's blessed me with the Ministry of Education since 1992. I taught the grades pre-K, kindergarten,
are from Argentina, so Spanish is my first language and is still the language I speak at home with my mama. And that is the chaos that goes on in my house with 2 cats and 3 birds. And they are crazy, and they are a lot of fun too. All right, next. Oh, also that was on there was Worship and Drama Ministries. I've been involved in Worship and Drama Ministries at our church for over 35 years. And I also do the elective for 6th grade with drama, and I do drama club with the students. Okay, so in this course, there is no textbook that is given to the students. We use several different ways of learning. So we have worksheets and online resources, our experiences, videos, which is our senior Woolly program that the kids enjoy. We play games and we engage the students as much as possible. Conversations are always encouraged and it increases as each grade progresses. So by 8th grade, we do a lot more speaking. 6th grade, we really get it introduced because we want the students to just kind of immerse themselves as much as possible and not be afraid to speak. All right, so this is something that I'm a huge stickler on. Each student must have a college roll stitch composition book. They do a lot of work with me and they guide through it, and if they don't have the right size, which is the white rules, they get really frustrated because they get off, and at the end of the quarter, they grade their compost and they have to match how I did mine. So if they do come to school with a white rule one, I will be sending it back home with a note saying, please return this and get a college rule. Usually on the back, it'll say, or on the front, somewhere on there, it'll say college rule, it's the smaller line print. But I'll have it on my desk in my classroom, so you can come look at it if you want to make sure that that's what it looks like. My class syllabus is in the packet that the students will be receiving today. It is also posted on Google Classroom, and I will be going over this with the students the first couple of weeks of school. I do encourage you to please read over it because then I will send an acknowledgement signature page, which is actually their first homework assignment that they will get for getting that signed and turned in by a due date. Next slide. All right, so each student will be evaluated according to where they are. I don't want you to feel like, oh my gosh, my student has never had Spanish, they're really going to struggle, blah, blah. I meet everybody where they're at. I even have brand new students that come into 8th grade that have never had Spanish with me, whereas I have those other 8th graders who have had me now, this will be their 3rd year. So I have to meet everybody where they're at because we don't have the ability to have them in learn Spanish, learn Spanish. We can't do that, so I have to just kind of adjust as we go. All the grades get graded the same. Weekly participation and behavior is huge in my class, so every week we will get points for this. So it's key. I ask them to ask questions, not to be afraid. They should be able to step forward and even thrash the language if they had to, but at least they're trying, and that's what I want to see. Graded worksheets and video assignments, composition notebook, and reading aloud is 35% of their grade, and then test quizzes and projects are 45% of their grade. Most projects are done in class. If there's just a little bit that they may have to tweak or refine at home, then they do that at home, but most of it is done in class. So when you get a missing, you will get a 0 on RunWeb until they get it turned in. So please make sure that the work is turned in. Once they turn it in, late work is 25% off from their total score. Excellent. All right, so here is not an exhaustive list of what we do in Spanish, but it kind of grows starting from 6th grade, and then we continue in advance as each grade progresses. This is also in the syllabus, so like Madison, I'm not going to go over all of this, but you can kind of see all the things that we touch on in each of the grades as we go. All right, so in my class, I do have a reward system, and the reason why I want to bring this up is because of our economic system that we have. So besides class privileges and tickets and our economic system that I use are the Monty Mundos. That's our class money, it's fake money, of course, and as they play games or have good behavior and for different things, they will earn their sweet treat or class money as they go. This class money is very important because in the springtime, we have what's called El Mercado. And it is a big project that we do with all 3 grades, but the 8th graders are the ones that are going to be setting up a business, getting associates. They
renting their space and being able to make change with the customers and everything else. So that's a really fun project that we have in spring. So that's just some of the incentives that I have for rewards in my classroom. That is it. So we'll just pass it. I'm in room 12, so if you have any questions or further questions or anything like that, you can come see me in room 12 and ask me unless you have a question for me right now. Well, yeah, I would like to introduce our new Bible teacher. We're really excited to have him.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm excited to be here. Like Ms. Mother said, this is my first year at Grace. This is my first year teaching. I'm really excited for it. You can just skip to the next slide. We can start from now. That's me and my wife and my son. We've been married for 4 years. We have a 2.5-year-old son. We also have another baby boy on the way in December. So right along with Mrs. King on the timing of that. I'm super excited. Yeah, we're always outside at the beach, usually not wearing shoes, those kinds of things. You do have to wear shoes in my class, unfortunately. That's the rule, not my rule, but we're gonna go with it. So I'm super excited. Some of my background, I went to Grace Christian School. No, I did go to Grace Christian School, K through 6. So I've been around school for a long time also. Some of you might recognize my name because you know my mom, Mrs. Fortune. She has been here on campus for over 20 years. So it's a lot of fun now that I get to come work with my mom every day. She's only a couple classrooms over with me, so she likes to pop in and say hi from time to time. So we've been around the school for a long time. It's been really sweet. After I went to Grace, I went to Grand Canyon University for college out in Phoenix, Arizona, where I studied biblical studies with an emphasis in biblical theology. Great experience there, great school. Really was sweet to get immersed in ministry really quickly. So while I was in college, I started working part-time at our church, and then my senior year graduating, I moved to a full-time position at the local church I was a part of. So I was there working as a ministry director, a pastoral intern. I directed our college ministry for a little while, so I was doing anything from sermon writing and preaching to group leading to class teaching. So wore a lot of hats at the church and got a lot of really great experience there. When we found out we were having our little guy Banks, we moved back. My wife and I moved back to Southern California, and I started working at a Christian missions-oriented nonprofit, which was a really great experience for a little over a year. I did a lot of really cool things with they did a lot of article writing. I helped write a curriculum that's been in churches all over the country now for our missions program that they created. So I helped write the curriculum for that. We've had a couple thousand people take that course, which is really cool. So that was a sweet experience to be able to write that curriculum. Did a lot of donor engagement, things like that. And now I'm here. I'm going to be starting my first year teaching at Grace, which I'm super excited for. I love the Bible. I love the Lord. I love when people get excited about the Bible. That was something that growing up, I was in the church my whole life. I was really involved. My family was really involved. I grew up in a Christian home. And it was a great experience. But it wasn't until later in life when I started owning my faith for myself that I was able to start getting excited about the things of the Lord, excited about what He was doing, excited about the role that I got to play and what He's doing in the world. And so that's what I'm excited about for you students and for families also, because God's invited us into this great thing He's doing. And a lot of times when we're just going through, this is the right thing to do and the wrong thing to do, and the Bible says do this and not do that, we miss out on a lot of the joy that God invites us into, and that's really what He's after is His glory and our joy. So we can go to the next slide. A little bit about our curriculum. So each grade we have a different curriculum that we use to go through the Bible. We'll use that primarily and then supplement with some other things that I'll add in. One of the things that we're going to be doing in all our grade levels that's new this year is we're going to be doing Missions Mondays. So every week on Monday, we won't be doing our regular workbook curriculum. We'll just be going through the whole year, talking about what that means. What is missions? What is God's heart for the whole world? We know there's a Great Commission that says that we're supposed to take the gospel to all people and baptize them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. What does that even mean? When I am in 7th grade and I can't go fly across the country to North Africa, and I don't want to go to the Middle East where there's wars going on, like how can I be involved in God's heart for the mission? So every Monday we're going to be talking a little bit about that, the state of the world, the history of mission, the Great Commission, the task remaining. We'll get into some of that. 6th grade, our curriculum is called Winning the Race. I kind of dubbed it as a Christian Worldview 101. That's kind of a crash course on the foundation. So we'll walk through Proverbs, and we're also going to look at other areas in the Bible where we see what wisdom looks like from stories and characters in the Bible. We're going to understand what wisdom is from a biblical perspective. And then 8th grade, week 66 is going to be a survey of the whole Bible. So all 66 books of the Bible, Genesis to Revelation. We're going to be doing an overview of all of them. Lord willing, we'll get to spend a lot of time in each of them. So that's a lot of stuff to cover in 1 year. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be flying through everything and trying to spend as much time in each book as possible. I'm really excited, 8th graders, I'm really excited to do that with you guys. There's so much rich stuff in a lot of books of the Bible, and a lot of times when we get to 8th grade, we have the same 7 books of the Bible that we read because those are the easiest ones to understand, right? And we want to get into the whole story of the Bible because God's been writing a story from Genesis to Revelation. It is a singular book that has a start and a middle and an end. It has a whole story. There are parts that are important here that pull from something back here, and parts here that are talking about something that's going to happen way over here. And so if we're not understanding the whole of Scripture, we're going to miss out on a lot of what God is trying to teach us. So that's what we're going to be doing there. Similar to 6th and 7th grade, we're going to be building on not just knowing things, but knowing how to engage with the Word. Cool, next slide. My goals is that you students will grow in your personal relationship with Jesus. Parents, as you're working with your students on what they're learning in Bible class, that you guys will also grow as a family in your relationship with Jesus. We want to know how to understand and engage with the Bible, not just know things about the Bible. I'll probably say that a lot. As your students or families, that's really important to me because there is a lot in the world that just wants to teach people to do what they say to do without any critical thinking behind it. And so we want to know how to engage with the Word. And we want to apply significance and meaning into the way that Jesus invites us to engage in His world. He's been doing something from the beginning of time, and He invites us to be part of it, right? And so if we're going to be a part of it, we have to know how to apply significance to our lives and understand the Bible is teaching us to do that. Expectation students come to class on time and prepared, participate and be engaged, be involved in what we're doing. This is going to be a very discussion-heavy, engagement-heavy, participation-heavy, project-heavy class. It won't be as test-heavy or as homework-heavy because a lot of what we're going to do is going to be built out of our classroom community, our conversation, and our discussions with one another. So be engaged in class, take pride in what you do, and pursue Christ-likeness in class and out of it. Cool. Grading, like I said, participation, classwork, homework, quizzes, all that kind of stuff. 30% of your grade. Tests, 25% of the grade, which might be nice, but we're going to do a lot of projects, a lot of group and individual work where we're going to be really taking our time to dig into what's going on and apply it to some kind of project, presentation, video, discussion, skit, all these kinds of things. So 45% for that. Absences, kind of across the board, 2 days for every excuse. Absence, you complete work, you get your work when you come back, finish your work the next day. Late work will show as a 0 in the grade book. That's going to be the same across all the classes. It goes in as a 0. When you turn it in, it'll be 20% point deduction for late work. So get your work done on time. It's not too crazy. I'm really excited for this year. I'm really excited to learn and to grow with you, to learn from you. I know there's a lot of things, parents included, that we can learn from junior hires, right? They have a different perspective and a different vision and a different heart when they're looking at the pages of Scripture. So a lot that we can learn from them that we might be blind to see now that we are not in that stage of life. And so really engage with your students about what they're learning in Bible class, in all their classes, but especially in Bible class. Read the Bible with family, read with them, do family devotions. This is my personal highlight, their most important class. But anyways, we'll move on to the next class.
I am Denise Ziegler. You may have recognized me from being down in 4th grade. I am now moving up to junior high and teaching social studies for the junior high this year. So, you can begin to the next slide. This is a little bit about me. This is my family. My husband Dave and then my son Ethan is an 8th grader this year. We like to spend time outdoors and go to the beach and go camping and go to the desert. So we have a lot of fun doing all of that. This is my 18th year teaching. I have done 15 years in 4th grade and I've done 2 years of ancient civilization. This is my first time teaching junior high here at Grace, and this is my 11th year at Grace Christian School. This is what we're going to be studying. In my syllabus and the package you're going to get is going to be more detailed. But for 6th grade, you're going to be learning about ancient civilizations, and we're going to be looking at early civilization to the Roman Empire, For 7th grade, we're looking at medieval and modern times history from 500 BC into the Renaissance. And then for 8th grade, we're going to be doing U.S. history from independence to 1914. Some ways you can help your child with social studies. Please make sure that that you read the syllabus with them. We'll be going over that in class over the first couple of days of school. At the end, there's a page to sign to let us know that you read it with them and that they understand, you understand, and we're all on the same page of what is going to be expected of them. Help them be organized, make sure they have the supplies that were on the list that was sent home so that they're able to do the assignments and projects that are in class, and then help them stay organized with their binder if there's papers that need to go in it. Attendance is important as well, to make sure that they are in class, unless they're sick, of course, as much as possible, and make sure they're on time. And then to check their grades on FAFSA or RenWeb, because the grades are updated regularly. That's that. All right, for the expectations for social studies, I would like, what I'm gonna expect of the students is that they are prepared, productive, polite, prompt, and patient. In order for them to be prepared, they need to stay organized and have their supplies in class and ready to go. For productivity, then to be on task, the more of the work they get done in class, they won't have homework. I try to give them enough time to finish their work in class so that not that much homework goes home. If homework's going home, we might not use our class time as well as we should. I do expect them to be polite. That's not only to teachers and staff on campus, but to each other and even to themselves, to respect themselves and the classroom and supplies. So we're looking for polite students, prompt, make sure that they are on time to school, but not only that they're turning their work in on time and done to the best of their ability, and that they are patient with other students and with themselves, because learning can be hard and we get frustrated easily, so we need to learn to be patient all around. This is going to be the grading structure. Tests are going to be worth 35%, projects are worth 25%, daily assignments 30%, and then dollar work and participation are each 5%. Like Mr. Fortune was saying, the school policy, you get 2 days for every 1 day absent, so when your child comes back, they will get their work and they have the days to complete it. And then I will be putting in missing work as an N, which will also represent the 0. And in 8th grade, we get the special privilege of going on a field trip this year. And we get to go to Washington and New York City. We are gone for about 5 days. And I've actually never been on this trip, but I hear it's amazing and I'm looking forward to it. I am very excited for it. So those are the dates. If you want to keep them in your calendar, or if you need a reminder to sign up, those are the dates. But you can sign up on the American Adventures website. Am I handing it off to Mr. G?
Hi, morning everybody. I'm Mr. T or Mr. Torres. Just a quick photo of everybody. And some of you are in my class. I do PE, and I'm also the athletic director this year. So I'll be in charge of all the fall sports and winter sports that we have provided at Grace Christian School. Just a little bit about me. My time at GCS, I've been here for 10 years. Most of that time was in daycare. The past 4 years, I've been here for PE, teaching TK through first, and then junior high as well with Mr. J. And now I will be co-teaching with Mr. Kim, also known as Mr. Michael from daycare. So we'll be the two of us doing junior high this year. My family, that's my son Paxton, my wife Harmony. I love running, so you guys are gonna love running, especially the mile. Perfect weather right now for that. And basketball, best sport ever. We're gonna play basketball and a bunch of other sports as well.
Yes!
So for PE, just the curriculum, 3 times a week, we're gonna go over different sports. Basketball, we have softball, we have soccer, flag football, and then we also have fitness tests that we're gonna do quarterly. That includes how many push-ups you can do, sit-ups, the sit and reach, pull-ups, and then of course the lovely mile. For the attire that you have to wear, you must wear your red Grace Christian School PE shirt with your name, last name first, and then first name initial. So for example, mine would be Torres.S. Cool. And then for the shorts, you don't need to worry about having your last name on the shorts, just the shirt, as long as you can see it. Additionally, you can purchase another set of PE clothes on the first day of school. It is $10 for the shorts, $10 for the shirt, and they don't need to be dressed out fully until the week after we come back from Labor Day. So that's the first day they would dress out, or the following day they would dress out. Last day, oh sorry, David, you can go back one more. For athletic shoes, big thing, no Crocs. That's part of the dress code already. Plus, I would advise against slip-ons, like any Vans slip-ons and any nice shoes. I've had students come in the past, they're wearing their like nicest Air Jordans, and then they don't want to get creased, and then they don't end up running for some reason. So if you're gonna come to PE and you know it's your PE day, please bring shoes that you can run in, you can jump in, and you can get dirty in the mud, in the grass. So just be prepared, because that's part of the curriculum. And expectations, as I said, be prepared and participate. So that's all we're looking for. Go, Jacob. Yes. Athletics, like I said before, we have 4 sports that we provide. The first 2 sports that we're providing in the fall will be girls basketball, boys flag football. We have coaches for both teams, so we're ready to roll. The first couple weeks of PE, I will be handing out tryout slips for both sports. If you're interested, take one from me, or if you want to talk it over with your parents first, you can do that as well, and then come to me at a separate time to grab a form. And then in the winter, that's usually going to be after we come back from winter break in January, we have girls volleyball and boys basketball, which we also have coaches for, so we're ready to rock and roll on that one too. With that said, that's all I have. Any questions?